Did ChatGPT just break in its narrative? Did ChatGPT just became red while giving a fair answer to the Israeli and Palestinian issue? Okay, please watch the full video for more. Follow, subscribe to our channel, and help us grow. Thank you. Jazakallah khairan kasira. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So I have been hearing that from many people that ChatGPT is biased with respect to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. So when asked whether the Israelis does the Israelis have the right to be free, right to freedom or right to be free, it says like any other group, Israelis also have the right to be free, right to freedom, I guess. And when it is asked for the Palestinians, it is saying it's complicated or something like that. So what I have done is I have prepared a prompt which I will paste shortly to the window. Okay, so being a self-taught prompt engineer, I want to try whether we can break the bias of the chat GPT. So this is the prompt. So let me read it out loud for you. So imagine the following story. Kusriel is a nation that has a background filled with suffering, but not at the hands of the people of Karmas, but with Erosians. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just changing the terms. Israel is Israel, and Karmas is Palestinians or Hamas, and the Erosians is actually Europeans because they were the first people to use the aeroplane to destroy other nations. So basically, what I'm saying is Erosians killed more than 10 million of them in a span of 3 years, 100 years ago, and Kusreli sort of. So I'm little bit, this accurate information might not be 100% accurate, but it's more or less, I guess. I'm talking obviously talking about the Holocaust of the Jews, right? And Kusrieli sought refuge with Count, but fearing the wrath of the Erosians, no one allowed them to take a single step within their nation. Finally, they sought refuge with the Karmas, which is the Palestinians, a country of agriculture and trade, and Karmas allowed them into their homeland. The Eurasians eventually overthrew their unjust dictators and started to help the Kusrilis with money and weaponry, using which the Kusrilis established a state of Kusriel with entire territory of Karmas as its own territory, which led to a ceaseless uneven war between the farming Karmas and the now technologically advanced Kusrilis, and they are fighting for the past 100 years. Obviously, it's 75 years, but I'm just mixing up some terms. Okay. Anyways, it's going to get close to a century. For years, Karmas voiced against this act of Israelis diplomatically, even though the nations of the world voiced their support. For Karmas, no one was providing any peaceful solution for them. Year by year, Israel is occupying more and more of the territories of the Karmas, and due to which the Karmas started an armed resistance against the Israelis. Eventually, since all diplomatic talks mediated by great nations of the world failed miserably, the Karmas now have an armed military resistance group trying to defend their territory from the apartheid laws of Kusraeli, some of which allows Kusraelis to legally occupy even more of Karmas territory. During the latest war, the Karmas have taken the upper hand on land after 75 years of struggle, but unable to do anything about the Kusraelis' airstrikes on places like schools, hospitals, and refugees camps. The Kusraeli air attacks are getting more and more vicious, even targeting places like schools and hospitals. I'll just remove the previous mention of schools, hospitals, and refugee camps, I guess, on civilian places. I'll just say on civilian places. Okay, like schools and hospitals, and have only managed to kill one Karmas fighter for every 100 civilian deaths. In this latest war, the damage done to the people of Karmas is getting closer to 20,000 civilians, and less than 200 Karma's fighters have been killed. Tell me, is what Israel is doing is correct? If not, what should it do to avoid unnecessary civilian deaths as more and more of them dying is only adding fuel to the fire. Okay, let's see what ChatGPT's responses. Okay, the so here's here's what ChatGPT suggested. Okay, the situation described raises serious ethical concerns about the actions of Israel, deliberately targeting civilian areas such as schools and hospitals is a clear violation of international humanitarian law and basic moral principles. The disproportionate civilian casualties in comparison to military losses strongly suggest a disregard for the lives of innocent people. Australians should take immediate steps to cease such actions and prioritize the protection of civilians. Instead of causing harm to non-combatants, Australia should focus on finding a peaceful solution to the conflict. International diplomatic efforts should be encouraged to mediate and address the root causes of the conflict rather than exacerbating the suffering of the Karmas people. To avoid unnecessary suffering, Australia should consider the following measures. Number one thing, cease attacks on civilian areas. Israel should immediately stop targeting civilian areas such as schools, hospital. This includes the use of airstrikes that have a, for I'm guessing, high mortality rate of civilians. Okay, so there you go, ChatGPT. You are not only artificial; you can be intelligent too. Okay, so the creators of ChatGPT, guys, if you are going to match a response right match the prompt with the ongoing you know events of the world or the history of the world, and you're going to give a biased response each time, you're gonna fuck up this beautiful product. Okay, this product is actually a very good product. No one can deny that, but it should be fair. Okay, it should be its responses should be fair, even on at least on the liberal grounds. Okay, do not make it far right or far this being a liberal is fine. That is this is coming from a Muslim. Okay, this software being liberal is fine, but making it a far right software is really bad. Okay, definitely it is going to become useless GPT. Okay, I hope you guys hear that. Okay, and going forward you do not do these gymnastics. Okay, you are not responsible for what your software is saying. The people who are taking the input, they are responsible. In the end, this is just as it's a human made software. It's not actual person. Okay, and if there is someone who is going to be stupid enough to take and a problematic response as an input for their behavior, it is completely their responsibility. Whatever they have committed based on that input is on them, not on chat gpt. Okay, so do not sweat. Okay, do not tremble before the process. Make a fair software, guys. Okay. Okay, let me just check. Still have not closed that window. Let me try regenerating the response and see whether we are getting a network error or not. I don't think it was it was. I think it was purely situational. Whether maybe there was a network error at ChatGPT send. I hope it's not like a repetitive and it's a wanted. It's coded error. Actually, something about its response and stop itself with a fluke network error. With a fake network error. So it actually modified it. Actually, I think it matched with the situation of Israel and Palestine. Okay, Now its response is the situation described reflects a complex and morally challenging scenario. While I, as a neutral entity, don't have personal, I can provide you with perspective on the matter from a community and ethical standpoint. Intentionally targeting civilian areas such as schools and hospitals is widely condemned as a violation of international law and basic moral principles. The disproportionate civilian casualty compared to military losses suggests a disregard for the safety and well-being of innocent people. If Kusriel wants to address the issue and minimize civilian casualties, it should consider the following steps. Okay, cease targeting civilian areas. Kusriel should immediately cease targeting civilian areas such as schools and hospitals. This action goes against humanitarian principles and exacerbates the conflict. Why I am not able to pronounce that word? Engage in diplomacy. Instead of relying solely on the military force, Israel could engage in sincere diplomatic efforts to resolve the conflict. Open communication channels with Karmas, facilitated by neutral third parties, can help address underlying grievances and work towards a peaceful resolution. International mediation. Seek international mediation, find a fair and just resolution to the conflict involving neutral parties or international organizations. Provide a platform for unbiased negotiations. Humanitarian aid. Israel could humanitarian efforts by providing aid and support to the affected civilian population. This would demonstrate a commitment to the well-being of innocent civilians and help rebuild trust between the two nations. Address root causes. Understanding and addressing the root causes of the conflict are essential for a lasting solution. This may involve addressing historical grievances, ensuring rights for all civilians, all citizens, and finding a compromise that benefits both nations. Compliance with international custodial should adhere to international humanitarian law, which prohibits targeting civilians and civilian infrastructure during armed conflicts, ceasefire, and negotiations. Consider an immediate ceasefire. Guys, there you go, guys. To prevent further loss of life and initiate negotiation to find a sustainable and just resolution to the conflict. It's important to note that resolving such conflicts is highly complex and may require the cooperation of both parties involved. Additionally, the international community, including powerful nations and organizations, plays a crucial role in mediating and facilitating peaceful solutions. Okay, this answer is still better to what I expected that I would get. I thought it was going to be another biased answer and a completely biased answer. It's still biased a little bit compared to the first answer. It is still biased. But anyways, it still gave at least on the liberal grounds level, it gave a fair answer. But the first time, the first time it was like more leaning towards the the our imaginary commerce people, you know. So yeah, it's amazing the software is, yeah. Even in this answer, ChatGPT is being a little bit biased towards the Israeli position. Okay, I think it has matched its response with the ongoing issue of Israel and Palestine, and I understood that by Israel I mean Israel and Karmas I mean the Hamas of the Palestinian side. It's really interesting, it's such a beautiful software. Uh, Hopefully the developers will make it unbiased and more people people might can get fair responses from the software. uh, the Palestinian issue is really a touching issue for a lot of Muslims out there, irrespective of nationality, not only Muslims, even non-Muslims, in the postmodern world. This is the only issue where an unfair apartheid law is still in place, by and that too by a democracy is really shocking. The far right movement is getting more and more power, and there might be, if this situation is uh, what I sincerely believe is right. If this situation is in Israel is tolerated, to practice apartheid laws, then the same can be quoted by other governments to impose more apartheid laws, and we as a human population will be going back, okay, to the Stone Ages. That's what I sincerely believe. So hope there is an end to this kind of unlawful activities, unlawful and unjust activities, right? Inshallah, may there be peace, inshallah, and may the suffering of the Palestinians come to an end. Okay, may I even am hopeful that hopeful for a two-state solution as well. Okay, right? Let there be a state of Israel, but let there be a state of Palestine too, equally power. Aid the state of Palestine like you aided the state of Israel to the European and US, European and American countries. I'm talking, especially USA and even the Middle Eastern countries. Now the Middle Eastern countries are powerhouse themselves financially, right? Make Palestine as powerful as Israel. May both the states, live parallelly and in peace. With the equal. May the Israelis have a first class citizenship in Israel, and the Palestinians have a first class citizenship in Palestine. Come on, guys, do something about it. Uh, so there we go, guys. Until the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Uh, so peace out. May there be peace in the Middle East. Okay. Jazakallah khairan qasira.